Aloha and welcome to Java. Thank you for joining me. This is for Monday, January 22nd, 2024. Kind of expecting a quiet Monday. So we've got the MMRI still in the high territory, but been relatively stable. It's 262.8 right now. Friday, the market's closed on a new record high. So we're not expecting an awful lot of news today. With that, stocks currently are in the green territory and the futures are in agreement. So what's going on? We've got the 10-year yield and the relative strength of the dollar are retracing a bit. So as these go softer, they are allowing more room to run for the stock market. So sentiment at the moment still greed, kind of a quiet continuance. I'm expecting kind of a quiet day unless there's outlier news or something that happens. In the calendar, we really don't have much talking about the leading index, but we don't get big news until Wednesday. So we've got a Bernstein analyst came out, and I just put this in because they're talking about a once in a generation opportunity coming as these prices pull back because they say we're going to see a bear market. I agree. So while things look bad as they're going to pull back, that would be the time to be ready to go ahead and set yourself up, your family up for the long term. So one of these, basically an example we're watching is Boeing. So Boeing Airlines had an issue with another model. So this is going to put pressure on their stock today and for the long term could set up good buying opportunities. It's not financial advice, but they did show strength at around the $200 price tag as I expected in the chart. So I expect that to continue as a support level. So moving to what banks are doing. We've got the Chinese banks holding their rates and their expectations for basically doing rate cuts. We're going to see why in a little bit. We've got Canada, they're missing their fiscal goal, which is no big surprise. And then Japan, with their baseline forecast, their government is also missing their budget goal. They've got inflation really jumping in here. So the Bank of Japan is expected to hold, but they're kind of watching that. They've had negative rates and they've let their rates float for some time. So we'll see what they do. We've also got in the US fourth quarter GDP, gross domestic product, what we produce. They're talking about a vigorous second half, that our economy is wonderful and very strong. And if you've been here, you know, if you're new, you may not. But a large part of that GDP, what the United States produced, was in war machines, basically tanks, weapons, that type of stuff, bolstered the military. So that all gets counted in the GDP, but it's not exactly productive. It's not something that we're setting up for good trade. So you could argue that and saying that we're usurping other countries' goods or monetary value. However, it's counted in the GDP, so I think that skews the numbers a bit. So we've got China's residential foreclosures increased 43% 2023. So at this moment, we've had Evergrande is trying to restructure their debts. They've got a deadline coming up. And at this moment, we've also got Country Gardens is a residential, basically large development company, and they're going under. So China's having to basically uh, do some quantitative easing, and then also with the banks, they're going to have to watch what's going on there as well. So along with this, we've got corporate broking mergers going on. This is talking about the UK specifically. However, I've been speaking about this. This is a global thing. That's why I'm talking about these other banks will eventually affect everyone. Especially in the United States, it just filters down a little bit more. So we're going to be seeing some mergers and acquisitions going on in the United States as well. It just seems that the UK is kind of heading into this and being the harbinger for the rest of the Western world. So we've got the number of businesses in critical financial distress, again in the UK, jumped nearly 26% the fourth quarter of 2023. So they're really showing the stress. We've got the world's largest supplier of pulp preparing for a spike in the cost of commodity amid surging land prices in Brazil. So this is going on for a few reasons. Large part is not just this commodity, but other commodities. And then Brazil, along with the BRICS and what's going on there. It's all basically, this is two things, the war of resources and then also the currency wars going on. So moving on with our other stories in the real economy, and this we look several different sectors, not just numbers, not just surface numbers that they give us. So German exports to the US and China fell sharply in December. So this is on decreased demand. And to go along with this and bolster this claim, we've got Korea's early trade data uh, saying Apache exports recovery, but their numbers are down significantly. And then we've also got Taiwan export orders plunge as demand from US and Europe plummets. So I don't like, they kind of get a little dramatic with us using these words plummets, but it is down significantly. So between the Taiwan Korean trade, and then we've also got other countries reporting being down as well. So just a couple of lava updates I want to bring up before I let you go, and it's regarding water again. So Greens Party lawmaker in Australia is calling on New South Wales to hold an urgent inquiry into the state's water market. So between that one and then this following one is water treatment agencies. Basically, there's a lawsuit going on over forever chemicals in the water, and it's made people sick. They're talking about it causing cancer and these other things. This is in the United States. So I'm bringing this up because one of the largest purchases that's being made and one of the quiet trades going on is into water lately. So if you look at Bill Gates, the largest purchases, and also Michael Burry are all putting purchases into water as a commodity. So yes, it's free, but what they're doing is they can get in and manipulate this like any other market. So I just want to make you aware of this and bring up one more less known DoD branch. I did speak about them once before, but the Deagle Corp, they're into data collection. They're also famous for the Deagle papers, if you would like to Google that and look into the depopulation theory for the following, talking about 2025, some people. So, at any rate, just wanted to bring that up for something of interest. If you wanted to look something up, just want to encourage to kind of think a little bit more than what they want you to look at in the mainstream media. So if there is anything you liked in here, please do like and subscribe. With that, I wish you all a green trading day, just a wonderful day in general. And until I see you again, stay free.